Have you ever reached that point in a relationship where you finally understand that your worth is far greater than the emotional chaos you've been living in? It's a powerful and transformative realization, one that takes immense courage and clarity. Walking away isn't about anger or resentment. It's about wisdom, about knowing that you deserve peace, respect, and mutual effort. When a woman realizes she's lost you, it's a profound moment. It shakes her deeply because it's not just your presence she loses, it's the security, strength, and unique qualities that only you brought to the table. And for you, this is the moment where your emotional control truly shines. The ancient Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, taught us that true strength lies in mastering our emotions and living according to our principles. Emotional detachment isn't a sign of weakness, it's a profound expression of self-respect. When you walk away with composure and dignity, you're not just leaving a situation behind, you're making a statement about your values and the standards you hold yourself to. Marcus Aurelius said it best, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice." This isn't about revenge, though. It's about demonstrating that your self-worth doesn't depend on someone else's validation or approval. For her, the realization that she's lost you comes in waves. It's not an immediate epiphany, but a growing awareness that builds over time. You were once a constant presence, a man who didn't beg for attention, but instead lived with purpose and focus. Your life wasn't about chasing validation. It was about pursuing goals, upholding principles, and maintaining a sense of integrity that made you stand out. When that presence is suddenly gone, it creates a void. It forces her to confront the truth that your emotional value was never something she could easily replace. This initial shock isn't a fleeting emotion. It's a deep, visceral recognition that someone exceptional has slipped through her fingers. Women, like all people, crave security, not just physical security, but emotional stability. When you detach, when you stop seeking approval or reassurance, it's not just your absence she feels. It's the absence of the emotional foundation you provided, the steady presence she may have taken for granted. This is the first stage of her realization. Understanding that your strength and self-sufficiency were rare and precious, and that she misjudged how irreplaceable they were. As the days turn into weeks, this shock evolves into introspection. She begins to reflect on her actions, her words, and the choices that led to this outcome. The mind, when confronted with loss, has a way of turning inward. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts," and for her, these thoughts begin to take on a hue of regret. She starts questioning everything: why she didn't recognize your value earlier, why she might have taken you for granted, or why she let her insecurities or pride get in the way of nurturing the connection you shared. These reflections can be painful, but they are inevitable. When someone loses something truly valuable, they can't help but replay the moments that led to that loss, searching for where things went wrong. This introspection often leads to a yearning to reconnect. It might start subtly, a casual message, a social media like, or an attempt to reinitiate conversation under the guise of curiosity. But these actions are rarely casual. They stem from a deep, almost instinctual desire to rebuild what was lost. Human beings are wired to seek closure, to fill emotional voids, and to regain what they perceive as valuable. Yet this isn't always about genuine connection. Often it's about reclaiming a sense of control. When someone feels the power dynamic shift, when they realize they no longer hold the influence they once did, there's a natural urge to reassert themselves. This is where your composure is most critical. By maintaining your emotional detachment and refusing to be drawn into old patterns, you reinforce the boundaries that define your worth. This isn't about being cold or distant. It's about standing firm in your principles and refusing to compromise your standards for temporary satisfaction. When you remain steady, when you don't respond to her attempts to pull you back into the relationship on her terms, you send a powerful message. You are no longer the man she can take for granted. Your emotional strength becomes a reflection of the growth you've achieved and the values you live by. For her, the loss isn't just about your physical absence, it's about the memories of everything you shared. Those memories linger, not as fleeting thoughts, but as persistent echoes that grow stronger over time. Every place you went together, every conversation and every shared moment becomes a reminder of what she once had and no longer does. This is not simply nostalgia, it's the pain of realizing that the connection you shared was special and that it cannot be recreated with someone else. The Stoics remind us to be indifferent to what we cannot control, and in this case, you cannot control her thoughts or feelings. Those memories are hers to bear, just as your focus is on the present and the future. As time goes on, she begins to grapple with the what-ifs. What if she had been more patient? What if she had treated you differently? What if she hadn't let her insecurities or pride get in the way? These questions can become mental traps, keeping her stuck in a cycle of regret and self-blame. But while she may dwell on hypothetical scenarios, you've already moved forward. As Seneca wisely observed, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. You understand that the past cannot be changed and that growth comes from living fully in the present, guided by the lessons you've learned. Ultimately, the final realization for her is that you are unique. The qualities that made you who you are, your discipline, your emotional intelligence, your unwavering sense of purpose, cannot be replicated. She comes to understand that the connection she had with you was extraordinary. Not because of circumstance, but because of the man you had become. This recognition isn't about regret alone. It's about the understanding that she lost something truly irreplaceable. And for you, this journey is about more than her realization. It's about the growth and strength you've achieved. By walking away with dignity and composure, you've proven to yourself that your worth is not defined by someone else's perception or validation. Like the Stoics who led empires with clarity and purpose, you live according to your principles, unshaken by fleeting emotions or temporary desires. Your focus is on the future, on building a life that aligns with your values and purpose. If you're seeking more insights like this and want to integrate timeless Stoic wisdom into your daily life, check out Digital Stoic Daily, your go-to channel for practical philosophy and emotional mastery. Subscribe now. Hit the notification bell and join a growing community of individuals dedicated to living with purpose and resilience. Don't just read about Stoicism, live it. Let's continue this journey of growth together.